The Power of Akasha, ether element, in Telepathy and Samadhi. How the subtle element of space connects consciousness beyond the physical. What if thought could travel without sound? What if consciousness could move across space, not by technology, but by stillness? This is the mystery of Akasha, the subtlest of the five elements. Invisible, weightless, and vast, yet intimately connected to every form of communication, including telepathy and deep meditative absorption, known as Samadhi. In this sacred transmission, we will explore the silent power of ether, how it serves as the medium for spiritual communication, subtle perception, and timeless awareness. Rooted in ancient teachings but relevant to modern seekers, this is the forgotten bridge between mind, and between self and self. 1. What is Akasha? Akasha is often translated as ether or space, but it is not empty. It is the subtle field in which all forms arise. Unlike air, fire, water, or earth, ether has no density, temperature, or flow. It is the background, the infinite presence in which the other elements move. It is not physical space. It is subtle space, the invisible container of thought, sound, energy, and awareness. In both yogic and mystical traditions, Akasha is the first element to arise from pure consciousness. It is also the last one to dissolve. Modern science cannot measure it, but you feel it, in deep silence, in the space between thoughts, in the pause between breaths. That is ether. 2. The role of ether in the subtle body. To understand how ether connects to telepathy and meditative states, we must look at the subtle body. The human system includes a physical body made of solid elements, an energetic body made of channels and currents, a mental body made of thoughts and impressions, and a field of awareness that holds all of these mixed. Ether is the link between these layers. It moves through the central channel in the body, sometimes called the inner spine, and it radiates out through the energetic field. Because ether is the element of sound and vibration, it governs mental impressions, intuitive messages, and even unspoken communication. When your subtle body becomes still, you begin to sense patterns in this field. Thoughts that aren't yours, feelings that arrive without cause, sudden understanding without explanation. This is the beginning of telepathic sensitivity made possible through the medium of ether. 3. Telepathy, the mind's communication through space. Telepathy is not magic, it is subtle communication through the field of ether. Imagine two tuning forks. Strike one and the other vibrates, not because they touch, but because they share the same space and frequency. The same is true of minds. When two people are attuned through emotion, spiritual practice, or silence, their thoughts can resonate through the subtle field of ether. This happens often between twins, spiritual teacher and student, longtime partners, meditators sitting in silence together. The message isn't transmitted like words. It arrives as knowing, as image, as feeling. Telepathy requires mental stillness, emotional purity, a clear and sensitive energy field, and most importantly, the ability to listen without noise. Ether carries the signal. Your stillness makes it receivable. 4. Samadhi, dissolving into the field of ether. Ether is not just the medium for mental communication, it is also the gateway to Samadhi. Samadhi is not just concentration, it is absorption into stillness so complete that the sense of self disappears. In the deepest meditative states, the mind becomes so quiet that it blends into ether. There is no movement, no sound, no identity, just a vast spaciousness, silent, aware, and infinite. This is why advanced meditators describe becoming transparent, hearing inner sound without vibration, feeling as if they are floating in space, losing all sense of location. These are all signs of the mind dissolving into ether, the element that supports formless awareness. When this happens, Samadhi is no longer effort. It is the natural state beneath all disturbance. 5. Scientific parallels, vibration and field theory. While modern science does not speak of ether in the same way, there are striking parallels. In quantum physics, we now understand that empty space is not empty. It is full of potential. It fluctuates. It hums. Scientists call this the quantum field or zero-point field, a background of subtle energy in which particles arise. This is strikingly similar to what the yogis called ether, a silent field that allows communication, emergence, and disappearance. Telepathy, from this view, may be a kind of resonance across the quantum field, not through words or waves, but through alignment. Samadhi, similarly, may represent a state of brain coherence and vibrational stillness, where the individual mind aligns with the background field of awareness. Science is just beginning to touch what yogis sat in for hours. 6. How to develop your sensitivity to ether. You don't need to force telepathy or chase samadhi. You need only to prepare your body and mind to become clear. Here are practices to develop your relationship with ether. 1. Silence practice. Spend time in stillness, no talking, no music, no devices. Let the field speak through the gaps. 2. Space awareness meditation. Close your eyes and feel the space between your body and the room. Then feel the space between your thoughts. Then rest in the space itself. 3. Listening with the inner ear. Instead of hearing external sounds, listen inwardly. There may be a hum, a pulse, a subtle presence. This is ether in action. 4. Write down unexplained knowings. Track moments when you receive thoughts, images, or messages that seem to come from nowhere. Over time, you'll notice patterns. These techniques are not about control. They are about tuning into the field. The more you clear your internal static, the more you will hear what is already present. 7. Final reflection. The soundless message of space. Ether is not just the element of silence. It is the communicator of truth that needs no voice. It is the canvas of the soul, the receiver of divine signal, and the womb of inner knowing. When you learn to rest in it, you no longer try to understand. You simply know. You no longer try to connect. You are already connected. Telepathy is just one expression. Samadhi is the natural resting state. But ether, Akasha, is the ever-present bridge. It surrounds you. It moves through you. It is you, before thought, beyond sound, and beneath even consciousness. If this teaching opened new dimensions of understanding for you, please like, subscribe, and share it with others walking the path of stillness. In the next video, we'll explore the mystery of the moon, the 16 kalas, the phases of lunar energy, and their influence on mind, emotion, and meditation. A journey through the lunar mind and its subtle tides awaits. Until then, may you rest in the silent field and listen to the voice that speaks without sound.